Hey guys, what's going on? Man Cave here, and I know this is the G6 build, but I figured I was going to go ahead and take care of some of the critical elements first and get them done. Like, we know I'm not using the stock axles. I'm going to build them anyways, because they'll go under another rig. I've got one actually that needs axles, so I'll be putting a set of brand new ones from the G6 into it. And here I've got the, as I showed you in the last video, the machined Integy ones. I want you guys to look and see how beefy that rear, or how beefy the bevel gear is. Now you can hear that. I'm about to take these ones. By these I mean both of these. The steering one has the same exact heavy-duty bevel in it. Quieter, but these are going to be getting fully marine greased. I'm going to pretty much slap, since they've got such a nice broad housing on them for the diff cover, I'm going to pack as much grease inside of here as I can. And despite it having 3-link mounts, I'm going to be using the stock ones, the 4-link mounts from the kit, until I make my next Integy order. Then I will be converting over to a set of metal ones, because just like any RC 4-wheel drive axle, these have the holes for them too, so you can screw them straight in and you won't ever have to worry about them coming out. Other thing I wanted to show you, because just they look so killer, is I finally got all 4 of these wheels done, and they look just like a Militant or a Humvee wheel. And if you look real close, these tires look a lot like Rock Locks, but they're not. They're really cool though, because instead they say 1.9 focus. 1.9 by 1.5 by 4.4, or 48 by 38 by 114. So these tires are 1.5 wide, 1.9 rim, and they're 4.4 inches tall. The only thing I found with them is that they were vented. Now these are full machined, so what I did is, I don't know if you can see it, but you see that little bit of right down there. I don't know if the light can catch it or not. That's a little bit of JB Weld clear epoxy. It's good for 4,400 psi. I'm going to take these to where they're vented to non-vented without goobering it up with running a screw in the backside or doing something goofy. But like I said, I'm going to pack these axles with grease, since they're obviously going to be the first couple steps within building the chassis. And the entire time I'm going to keep this box in the background. The other thing I'm going to do too is, before I get to it, I'm going to go through these shocks, and I'm going to play around with the oils, get them where I want them, make sure the reservoirs are functioning like they should. But I don't think I'm going to have a problem with them. The only thing that might pose a problem is the size of the springs. They're larger than the Icons. These are more of like a big bore style, like Wraith, even though they are for the SCX 10 Dingo, Honcho, and Jeep. It's a Jeep, so it should fit, but then once we get into the transmission, of course, you know, I'll be using the complete metal transmission gear set. And then probably once the cage starts going together, I'm going to start fooling around with this light bar here. See where I'm going to mount it, see if I can use the existing mounts, the Exo style, to do that. And then of course our final touch is going to be putting these awesome little metal tow hooks on, which they even include the hardware for, which is really cool. And also very important too, I know I don't have to test these because these are designed for the pin-through pinions, and with their kit here, it's got the pin-through, so I can run these without having to worry about double grubbing. But not really much of a super start to the first part of the build. I just really wanted to emphasize the quality of these axles, how well they're put together. And I mean, you can see that the bearings in them, they're ceramic bearings versus rubber sealed ones. I don't know, let's get you guys a really close shot. Can you see that bearing? Look at that, right there. That's a full ceramic bearing with a spool type locker already on it. It doesn't get much better than that right there. If you really want a set of these axles, they're really super scale, head on over to Integy.com and you can hook yourself up with a super sweet scale set of heavy. I mean, these things are heavy. If I was to compare these axles to other ones, these are just about as heavy as a Blackwell or a Worminator. As a matter of fact, I've got a Worminator axle right here, so we can do a comparison. Yeah. This Worminator axle weighs as much as the rear. So yeah, that's not a cheesy cheap plug. You guys know I'm not all about that, but if you do want a sweet set of these, Integy can hook you up with all that stuff. They've got a huge lineup, and since this one is going to be Integy themed with all the parts, I've come up with a name for it. This is Integy Recon 1. Now, I have also, I must digress, I have cheated a little bit too. I know you've probably seen it in the background, but I've already painted the body. That was the very first thing I did. Now this is Patriot Blue. So we're going to have a combination of red, black, blue, and gunmetal for the shocks, but this, I just can't wait to pull the, trim this body and pull the clear coat off of it and see how good it looks. Did that, and then I did the windshield for it too, so it's going to look really sweet when it's done. So enough dragging it on. Basically, I had to let these wheels set up overnight, which is going to give me time to go ahead and start actually putting the chassis and all that together. And this little copyright disclaimer, the music you're hearing is broadcasted live on 103.3 WKDF, broadcasting out of Nashville, Tennessee. So I'm not infringing on any audio rights there. It's public broadcast, and we all know that they pay for the songs to be on the radio, so it's not like I stole it. It's being played on the radio. So see you guys in the next part.